When a manned submarine reaches its implosion depth, the consequences end up being fatal. Today we take a look at what happened to the passengers when their submarine reached the depth of destruction. There are two critical depths for crushing underwater: the depth at which engineers say it is the limit for diving, and the depth at which a submarine actually implodes. In the case of the Ocean Geek Titan, the limit depth where it could no longer withstand pressure is 4,000 meters, but now we know it was destroyed before reaching such a depth. In fact, the maximum it could have descended is 3,800 meters. There are several hypotheses as to why the submarine did not survive this time, even though it had made multiple trips to the Titanic wreckage without technical. The one with the most support and credibility is that of Titanic and Avatar director James Cameron, who designed his own submarine with the help of Australian engineers and now holds the record for the deepest dive to the Mariana Trench, the deepest point in the ocean, and about 11,000 meters below sea level. Apart from having descended to the Titanic wreckage more than 30 times, according to Cameron and confirmed by the Submersible Regulations Bureau, the carbon fiber used to construct the Titan shell does not have the necessary characteristics to withstand thousands of pounds of pressure per square inch, no matter how thick it is. Although very resistant, it is still a composite material and does not have the same lifespan as titanium and tempered steel used in Cameron's Deep Challenger and other high-level submarines. That is why with each trip it became weaker until it reached the point where it could no longer withstand the pressure, and once cracked, it disintegrated like a piece of ultra-tempered glass under millions of tons of pressure. Sadly, the Titan sub disintegrates in a fraction of a second, becoming scrapped just as the signal with the control post is lost in communication with the horizon. Arctic on the surface is cut. The pipes and accessories begin to fail as the carbon fiber cover with titanium parts sounds alarms of structural, while the cover creaks and groans before being destroyed. The implosion disintegrates everything on board in a millisecond instead of slowly filtering water. The water either traps air in a bubble at one end of the sub or generates so much heat that the cover implodes and kills everyone inside. The body parts are found among the debris that rises to the surface, and now only a few meters from the Titanic. It is chilling but also comforting to know that there is no pain or suffering, and everything happens so quickly that the nerves do not have time to send signals to the brain to feel it. It is basically like a snap of Thanos, to put it bluntly. The crew became a kind of human sauce in the blink of an eye. The anatomy behind this is that it takes time for information such as pain to be transmitted through the nerves to the brain and processed. In the case of pain, it takes about 100 milliseconds, which is 99 milliseconds longer than the implosion took. The incredible thing is that it takes 13 milliseconds to process visual images, which means they disappeared before they realized what they saw. With 5 people on board the sub, let's assume they each weigh 80 kilos. That means there are about 400 kilos of debris that have to go somewhere. So why do they say they won't find them? First, we must consider the cooking, as the sub produces a giant air bubble inside. The pressure compresses dead air, and when that happens, it heats up to about the temperature of the sun, around 5,000 000 degrees Celsius. The exposure time is not enough to melt metal and other materials, but any living being would be immediately reduced to a paste and expelled at an extremely high speed, becoming available as food for other living beings, which, although it sounds horrible, is where we will all end up at some point.